Oh, Larry made it back.
I just love that. I love that. Look, Brittany, that's the perfect place to be to beat this heat.
Anywhere in the air conditioning is.
Right.
Oh my goodness. So today, of course, Nick, as we already know, it was the hottest day of the year so far, 101 degrees. So we actually broke the record for July 5th. And on top of that, it was the highest heat index we've seen so far this year with 106 degrees. So what's the weather impact here? Well, of course, anytime that you see heat of this magnitude, things like heat stroke, heat exhaustion, dehydration can happen so much quicker. And I know I've said this a million times, it feels like, over the past few weeks, but it's not just the fact that this heat is a little bit earlier than normal for this time of year, but it's the prolonged nature. We've only had a few days here and there over the past few weeks that we've seen heat that's been a little bit lower than these numbers. So just keep this in mind, folks. Stay safe, stay hydrated. And of course, it's not just the heat index, it's the UV index too. So use that sunscreen as well. We have one more day though after today, thankfully, before we actually do get a multi-day break where it's not necessarily feeling great, but it's just more typical for July. Tomorrow, our peak heat index forecast is right around 107. So I do expect another heat advisory to be issued. And then starting Sunday, again, we're talking upper 90s, lower 100s, still going to be hot and humid, just more seasonable for the month of July. Now, anytime that we see the above average heat and humidity, probably no surprise that we see any kind of really heat and humidity and then sunshine, right? Above average instability, lots of moisture in the air. And so that's actually what prompted some of these flash flood warnings that we've had earlier today for Ashwaubenon County. Thankfully, starting to get some of that rain filtering away. But this is prompted because look at these estimated rainfall totals from pretty much Laurel Folk, just near the immediate coast there, right near the border there with Tennessee, all the way up toward Clifton. We've seen a lot of heavy rain, the yellows and the greens indicating 2 to 3 inches. You can see 2.5 right there. 2.5 just northwest of Boone and 1.5 multiple of those, and also at 2.5 just north of Clifton. So keep that in mind. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of rain, but 2 higher elevations. Of course, the flooding and flash flooding at that can happen so much quicker. Flash flood guidance for most of our 3 counties, Ashwaubenon and Avery, which flash flood guidance is essentially how much rain do you need in about 1 to 3 hours to cause flash flooding, is normally around 2 to 3 inches. So that's kind of the number that we look for that potential. Elsewhere, we do have some Doppler radar indications of some heavy pockets of rain moving through parts of eastern Cleveland County just into Gaston County. I would say these will be near Trowerville within the next 15 minutes or so. Kings Mountain probably within the next half hour if they can hold together. Thankfully, nothing severe with some of those storms. I do think they'll wrap up by about 8, 9 o'clock tonight for most of the area. Now, these held off till about 6 p.m., I would say 5, 6 p.m. for most of the area. But tomorrow they're starting much, much earlier, around 2 o'clock. So if you're trying to get, errands run, grilling out done, on the patio before you're trying to get inside and kind of eat your, early lunch plans, things like that. Try to do anything outside before about 2 o'clock. And that's also the best way to beat the heat, right? Because the peak heat index happens around about 4 or 5 p.m. Because you're showing a lot more scattered shower and storm activity tomorrow, again, earlier in the day. And Saturday is probably going to be the stormiest day of the weekend as we have a lesser chance of rain and storms becoming widespread heading into the day on Sunday. So scattered showers and storms becoming likely on Saturday, again, still around on Sunday, just a little bit lesser coverage, but we actually have a chance of rain every single day over the next 7 to 10, which will bring some relief from the heat and humidity. We do need the rain, but of course, not ideal for any kind of outdoor plans. The only day, though, I really want folks to especially stay weather aware for the heat and humidity is tomorrow. And then again, I wouldn't say it feels great, Nick, but we are going to see a break in the above average heat and humidity that we have seen. 95 tomorrow, 107, and then just a more typical July-like pattern starting the 7th, and that goes all the way through the 15th.
Just some relief, a little bit of relief. All right.
Hey, it only takes a little.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Brittany. Well, it feels